Life doesn't always deal us a fair hand, but what if the Joker in the deck of life isn't the trick, it's the breakthrough? Welcome back to Cut the BS, Build the Dream. I'm your host, Brittney Kosov, and today we're talking about a lot. We're talking about chaos, clarity, tarot cards, Carl Jung mythology, shadow work, and the inner force that both breaks and can build your dream. It's the Joker, also known as the Trickster. This one goes deep, but I promise it's going to wake something up in you. So let's dive in. Every morning I pull a tarot card. This isn't something magical, or is it? It's just a way to be intentional about my day. Things on my mind, or a way to question something I'm pondering. Sometimes it's something grounding, something that's very clear and obvious, like the Queen of Pentacles or maybe the Star. But some mornings, like today, I pull the Fool, or in some decks, it's the Joker. And that card, that one always makes me pause. Here's what I do next, and it's so cool. I open up ChatGPT and I'll type in, what does the Fool mean for setting intentions today? Or like today, if I'm dealing with something heavy on my mind, like a new partnership at the brokerage, I might tell ChatGPT about the situation. And then I'll say something like, what does the Joker card mean in this situation? And then together, my underpaid AI assistant / therapist and we explore that. We explore the vibe. Am I being called to trust, to leap, to laugh at myself? And it will give me a journal prompt or an affirmation to cling to for the day. And here lately, I've been pulling the Joker card a lot. I don't know, universal synchronicity or something. The Joker doesn't always show up, though, to give me answers. He shows up, though, to disrupt, to poke holes in the script that I think that I'm creating for my life, to ask, what if you dropped the plan, Britt, and followed this magic? And when I think back on my journey from school librarian to real estate broker, from tired single mom to tired entrepreneur, I realized this. Every breakthrough has come from a breakdown. Every pivot was sparked by the Joker. I mean, just thinking about my life for a second, I never planned on divorce, but my divorce led me to get into real estate, which then led me to this whole life outside of it that's been amazing for me. Carl Jung says the fool is the precursor to the hero. I love that. But to understand what that really means, we have to back up. So let me zoom out for a second to give you some clarity. You've heard me say Joker, Trickster, and the Fool, but all of these are part of a larger system of human behavior, what Carl Jung called archetypes. Archetypes are this universal energy or pattern that life is. It lives deep inside of us in our human psyche. These archetypes show up across all cultures, all time periods, all religions, all literature, and in every single one of us. Think of them as the inner characters or forces driving you. The hero in you, it wants to overcome and achieve. The caregiver is the nurturing person that likes sacrifice and protecting others. The sage seeks wisdom and truth. The rebel breaks the system, right? We all have that rebel teen inside of us. And the trickster? Well, the trickster questions everything. These archetypes, though, they're not personality types. They're energetic blueprints. And the cool thing is, throughout your life, different archetypes lead at different times. Understanding your archetypes, it gives you a kind of spiritual language for your own growth. So instead of reacting blindly, you begin to notice things like, oh, my rebel is being triggered right now, or my caregiver is burnout. My trickster wants to break the rules and maybe I should let her. They show up all the time. Like I was telling you guys earlier, when I was going through my divorce, that was the trickster coming out. When I decided that, you know what, I don't want to cook every meal every night of the week for my kids. That was my caregiver saying, nope, I'm done with that. I need to outsource. I need to delegate. And that's why today we're focusing on one of the most misunderstood, but most powerful and disruptive archetypes of them all. That Joker, the Fool, the Trickster. This isn't just a card in a tarot deck or a side character in a movie. It's truly an archetype that lives inside all of us, and it has layers like an onion, donkey. Sometimes it shows up as laughter, spontaneity, creativity. Sometimes, though, it shows up as self-sabotage, distraction, or chaos. It can be a breakthrough or a breakdown. Another psychologist, Paul Radden, put it like this. He said that the trickster is both the creator and the destroyer, the giver and the negator. He who dupes others and is always duped himself. And that means that it's all of the things. It's divine and animal. It's foolish and wise. It's light and shadow, male and female. It's neither good nor evil, but often it's responsible for both. The trickster is that part of you that interrupts your pattern. It can speak the blunt truth, that jokes when things are too serious, or seriously needs to be heard when everyone's busy pretending everything is just fine. And if you use it well, the trickster can liberate you. However, on the flip side of that, if you use it unconsciously, it can cause real harm. Let's look around the world for a minute. The trickster shows up literally everywhere. In mythology, which I used to love to study as a kid, it's Loki, right? In Norse mythology, it's that chaos-bringing brother of Thor that's always trying to get him. Or Hermes in Greek mythology, the thief, the messenger of the gods. And animals in folklore, it's the coyote, the raven, the rabbit, the fox. Pop culture has the same references. It's the Joker and Batman. It's bringing chaos as commentary. Jack Sparrow in Pirates of the Caribbean. It's clever, unpredictable. He's always adapting to whatever's going around. And then comedians do it too. Joe Rogan, Dave Chappelle, George Carlin. They use satire to reveal uncomfortable truths that we need to see. Tricksters disrupt systems, but not just to stir the chaos pot. They're trying to show us what's broken. And in a world that's often way too serious, too structured, too damn rigid, they remind us to laugh, to question, and rethink what we've accepted as truth. Let's get real for a minute. The trickster isn't just funny or clever. It can also be spiritual, not in a religious way, in a spiritual way. In shamanic traditions, tricksters appear during altered states. You know, the visions, the dreams, the meditations, even psychedelic journeys, right? If you've heard Joe Rogan talk about one of his trips, he describes all of these clown figures flipping him off while he's in his trip. It's symbolic, though. These figures are mocking your ego. They expose your attachment to the seriousness in life, to your control, to your utter certainty that this is the way it's going to be. They show you the absurdity of what you're clinging to, and they challenge your paradigm so you can build a new one. And here's the deeper truth. The trickster shows up when your current worldview is just too damn small. When it's time to shed an identity, like my divorce for me. When it's time to break a rule, you know what? I'm not going to be a librarian forever. I want to do something more. When it's time to reclaim your joy. So how do you actually use this trickster energy? Well, you can embrace the duality of it. You don't have to be perfect. You could let your full self show up, your wise self and your wild self. You could laugh more. Trickster energy thrives in joy. Watch a comedy. Make a fool of yourself on purpose. It's really freeing, I promise. You could break something, a rule, a pattern, a habit that no longer fits, or you could do a little office humor and break a computer. Let your inner disruptor shake things up a bit. But beware of manipulation. The shadow of the trickster is control. And so you have to be aware of when your charm masks that avoidance or deceit that's happening around you. And maybe you want to use tarot with intention like I do. Pull a card. If you draw the trickster, ask what the trickster is trying to show you. Tell ChatGPT all about it. Journal, reflect on it. Let it become a practice of play and pattern recognition. And, you know, like I said, bringing it back to me, when I left my job as a school librarian to get into real estate, there was no plan, no playbook. I had no guaranteed income. I had 2 kids and I had a fire. And I had a whole lot of that wild card energy. I would work nights, weekends, showings with my kids in the back seat. It did not look perfect, but it felt right. That was the trickster breaking me out of the box I was never meant to stay in. And now I own my own company and I lead a team. I help others invest and I help try to build freedom. And I pull that tarot card every morning, not because it tells me what to do or I'm trying to predict the future, but because it reminds me to listen to myself and to reflect. The Joker isn't the villain. The trickster isn't necessarily the problem. They're the invitation to drop, the perfection that you're trying to maintain, to challenge your programming, to embrace play, risk, creativity, and real change. And maybe you need a journal about this. So let me give you a little prompt you could use. Where's the wild card showing up in my life? And what might it be trying to tell me? That's simple. Just sit down with a pen and paper and really put some thought into it. And your challenge here, guys, laugh, let go, take the unexpected path, trust the fool that sees your dream and wants to help you get there. Because sometimes the things you didn't plan for, that's the thing that changes everything. So thanks for tuning in to Cut the BS, Build the Dream. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone you love, or maybe someone who seriously needs to lighten up. I'm Brittney Kosiv. I'll see you next week. And remember, you don't build a dream by playing it safe. You build it by pulling the wild card and playing it with heart.